Chris Whalen CPA is back. We are talking about this headline, which is everywhere. It feels like they got the talking points in the mainstream media, and whoever it is that writes it was like, please write this exact headline. Here's what a new Trump administration could mean for your money. New York Times. What a second Trump term could mean for your money. Reuters. Oh, let me go back up. Hang on. Where are you? Oh, no, it's got me in an ad. Well, you can trust me. It's about your money. And then this is CBS. 5 ways Trump's next presidency affect the U.S. economy and your money. So, Chris, everybody's talking about Trump and your money. I'll go through some of the stuff that I think the mainstream news is getting people concerned about, but maybe you could take me through, like, you're a CPA, you're hearing from people right now. Let's just start with
Right.
like ear on the ground, boots on the ground. What are you hearing from your clients? What are people saying?
Well, the biggest thing everyone was worried about was the Trump tax cuts that were supposed to expire the end of 25, which would have been what I've been calling, as we talked about on this show, tax inflation. So that was going to be about an 18% increase in tax if Kamala had won and she hadn't extended them. So that's the number one. My business owners are so pleased right now, in every way, but especially about that. They're also pleased that they feel good about the economy from an international perspective. I've never had more calls from new potential clients that are going to want to start up new businesses. So on the street, they're ecstatic from a business perspective for the long term. Now, the entrepreneurial economic index I keep has never been higher.
Okay. This was the Reuters headline, What a Trump Presidency Means for Your Money. So I was not lying to you. One of the things that I've seen uh, Harris supporters talking about that they seem very freaked out about is tariffs, and that other countries are going to retaliate and that it's going to make inflation worse. In fact, I think I saw that. I don't want to say it was CNN because I don't know for sure, but I definitely saw it in one of the mainstream outlets talking about, like, we could be paying even higher prices at certain stores for certain goods, certain imported goods, because of retaliation in response to tariffs. What's your thought on that?
I think that tariffs are framed in the incorrect way. Tariffs are meant to protect American jobs, which is very important. So, although they might increase inflation because international products might be more expensive, but the idea is that we want to increase our employment and wage base here. So, I think that the trade-off is fair. We could have some more extra expenses at the grocery store, at the electronics store, let's say, but we're going to keep our jobs strong and our wages even stronger. So, I think that the increase in real wages is going to keep pace with any inflation that's due to the tariffs. Not a lot of people are talking about that. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yep. I
Remember, so if we have every BYD car in China, electric car maker, that we don't sell here, we have a U.S. based company that built one that employed many people and and increased our money supply. So I'd much rather have the tariffs which are going to allow us to increase our jobs here and stability here. It's very simple. It's not this damning extra inflationary item to worry about, as people have been saying, especially on the left.
All right, check this out, everybody. You get $25 off extreme altitude wines, AllisonWinePromo.com. Join the wine club, have some amazing wine at Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever you're celebrating. Maybe you're mourning the loss of whatever president you voted for, and you need a good glass of wine to make you feel better, whatever. One person commented once, Chris, that I told people, like, I'm really telling people seriously that I think wine is going to make you feel better. I'm going to say this very clearly. I don't think drinking is going to fix your spiritual problems. Okay. It's a joke. If you want to join my wine club, I'd really love to have you over there. I don't think it's going to make you a better person. All right. This is my little side note. AllisonWinePromo.com. You will get 6 bottles of amazing wines every 3 months. And then you can either sip them yourselves, or you can have them for whatever party you have coming up as the holidays approach. You can have them for birthday presents. Actually, one of my best friends, she is celebrating her birthday today. If I live near her in Los Angeles, which I don't for very specific reasons, not the least of which is that my husband calls California California, I would bring a bottle of wine over to her house and I would say, Ray, here is a beautiful bottle of wine for you for your birthday. You can do that too. AllisonWinePromo.com. Chris, bringing you over to this article from Reuters that I was showing just a second ago. what a Trump presidency means for your money. They talk about how one of the key factors is in Donald Trump's presidential victory, 31% of American voters said the economy was their top issue, ranking second behind 35% who said the state of democracy mattered most to them, according to national exit polling data. But then specifically, the people who voted for Trump overwhelmingly identified the economy as their primary concern. So it says the voters who identified the economy as their primary concern voted overwhelmingly for Trump over Harris, 79% to 20%. Why do you think that is, that there's that kind of disparity between Trump voters and Harris voters?
Well, I think the Trump voters are much more practical about their life and money. They're not as emotionally driven. So, of course, they're more concerned about nuts and bolts numbers instead of some things that might be a little more emotional, I would say. But I think conservative people are, again, conservative when it comes to forecasting what they need to do for their family. If you bring that back up a second, I'll show you.
Okay. Bring the article back up again.
Yeah, bring the article back up. Let's just go
Yeah.
back down
It's so
if
hard
you
to
can.
like read anything with the
Well,
amount of ads that they play on the screen. You think I have a
What
lot of
I
ad
what I think
reads.
I think also conservatives are very forward thinking. They're not ones to be complaining or worrying about the past. So if they can get the economy right and things can be fair on every level, they know we're going to prosper. They're simpler people. That's really what I see in my clients.
Hmm.
They always
Oh,
ask me, Chris, is it going to be a fair? Is the marketplace fair for me? And if I'm going to start a business, is race going to be an issue? I get these questions every day from all types of people.
okay. What did you want to see on the screen that you wanted me to
Well,
show?
yeah, keep going up a little bit more.
This is
Keep
it.
going up. Yeah, right there, right. So you see, it says that one about 31% of American voters said the economy was a top issue, right?
Yep.
But the Trump Harris difference is 39 to 20. Again, because the Trump and Harris supporters think about things completely differently about their lives. That's why there's such a disparity.
How do you mean?
Well,
Oh,
if you like I
you
said, if you
there?
look at the Harris voters, if you look, they're more concerned about inflation and things like that. They're more worried about it. Conservatives are feeling the same thing, but they're much more optimistic about the future. If we just get things right, so that's just part of the difference in their mentality that I see in my clients, especially conservative ones.
Okay, what do you think about the also the criticism that he's going to cut taxes for the wealthy and he just plays for the rich?
Well, that's totally untrue. Everyone last time got a tax cut, and relatively speaking, the rich got the least. So yes, the rich. So that's always the misnomer, the fallacious argument. Well, the rich saved more money. So yes, you have a millionaire who saved 5% on their taxes, and that might be $50,000. You have a family that saved 15%, and making 100, so they save 15,000. So the rich person saved more dollars, but relatively speaking, the lower income person saved much more than that. So it's like I said, relative to their income. So the rich have never gotten a break under Trump that wasn't better for someone in a lower strata. Never.
All right, one other piece of this, could the economy grow faster? And according to CBS News, the economy could initially grow slightly faster because of plans to cut corporate taxes. But that impact could fade over time, especially due to the impact of deporting millions of immigrants, according to Oxford Economics. What do you think about that?
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a problem if we export and we deport all these illegals in 1 month. But the rule of law has to hold. We have plenty of people. If we open up the visa system, that's going to be plenty of people coming here to do those jobs over time. Yes, is there going to be some problem? Maybe some of the work we need done around our house isn't done. But we have to get back to the rule of law. We need big walls on the border, but with big doors to let people in legally. So yes, it's going to be an adjustment, but it's going to be great for everyone in the long run, especially lower income Americans have been devastated with the illegal immigration and no one really talks about them. So this is gonna get their wages up to normal levels, and the people coming in now, the legal immigrants are going to be respected even more. So yes. So what's the answer? Let's say we have a problem. What happened in World War II? All the men left to go to war. We got through it. So maybe some of us have to cut our own grass once in a while.
Okay, that's an
But I'm
interesting
saying, so
analogy.
what do we want? We want the rule of law, and that's so it's going to be some growing pains, but it's going to be better. Especially, I'm concerned about the devastation to the lower middle income Americans that have really been hurt by the cash paid to illegal immigrants. I work with illegal immigrants, nothing against them, but the lower income Americans have really been hurt by it, especially in the border states. So I'm glad that's going to go away.
One thing I did find really interesting about though I don't think the coverage of this really identified it as important, but to just show that states like Arizona, for instance, went for Trump, and you're like, well, if it was racist to talk about immigration and border control and stuff like that, then why did like a state, for instance, that is right on the border with a lot of Hispanics vote for Trump? And I think
Well,
because the
it's so
media,
simple. You have to know your constituency. I'm just an accountant working in New Jersey, working with these people for decades. They're all Christian. They're all family oriented. Who would have think that that a Latino person that has a family with children is going to vote for a Democrat? It's the craziest. I've never in my entire career. I might have had 5 immigrants tell me they're going to vote Democrat in my entire
well,
life.
the other thing too, though, Chris, is that there's a lot of people who did this legally and don't like the fact that a bunch of people got a free pass when they
Of
had to wait,
course.
a decade and follow the rules. So there's a lot of that too. And like, yeah, you're
Well,
right. They
again,
do
look at
tend to
them.
be conservative.
They're more founding fathers and mothers than we are. They're Christian. They love their families. They don't like the DEI stuff. They don't like the libraries having the lunches with the drag queens. They don't like the transgender stuff in school. They don't like teachers talking about sexual things with their kids. So these are really dot in the wool Christians, like almost Christian conservatives. I don't know why anyone would think that the majority of them would be 100% Democrat when I know the most of them I know are very family oriented. But if you
Yeah,
look at
but
look at what's happened with all the transgenderism, unnatural things that these people want to do, it turns a lot of people who are Christian off, and that's what happened. It's very simple
right,
to
but
know why they voted Trump.
right, I understand your point, but I think also what I'm trying to get across is that the media still plays the racism card when it's like there are these growing sectors of people like they don't want to admit, like Latinos, for instance, who are voting for Trump. And actually, I saw another article. I saw this back in 2020 that that suburban white women are actually the ones that are voting more and more
Of course.
Democrat. And so
Well,
it's just
they,
interesting to me, because they're like trying to
yeah,
make it sound like
it makes sense that the left has nothing to offer except Trump hate. They have nothing to
I
offer.
know.
I mean, a suburban mom sees all of the illegals, these poor girls that are raped and killed, and they do nothing about it. They see all the cash bail that's gone. They see all the revolving doors with the DAs, and moms are concerned. So who would think that white women would be voting for the Democrats when they see the mayhem? Like it makes perfect sense. What do they
Well,
offer? They're unnatural, they're ungodly. Listen, this is a party that wants to have babies aborted in the ninth month
okay.
in many states. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, let's go to AllisonMauer.locals.com. You can join the editorial board for $5 a month. It's a great way to support the show, a cheap way to support the show, and you get a high value product because you get to put in the questions ahead of time for interviews. The amount of questions people put in every month, I would say your $5 stretches to basically be like 25 to 30 cents per question, which I think is a pretty good value. Mitch
I think
$7.53.
going back 1 second, the
Yeah.
Democrats don't respect the adults that we are. We can see what's happening. We don't believe their lies. We can see what's going on in the country the past 4 years. So anyone that's surprised that Trump got the win is not seeing reality of what's on the street.
Well, I mean, I do agree with you on that point. I think anyone, yeah, who's still saying like, I just don't know how we got here. And frankly, I know a lot of people who are in journalism or were in journalism that because I see their personal pages, and someday they're gonna block me probably, so I can't tell stories anymore of what I'm seeing. But I see how they're reacting to this, and they're still saying they don't know how we got to this point, and they're so embarrassed to be an American, and blah 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, you're right, Chris. If you still don't know how we got here, then like I can't help you. I really can't
We
help you.
don't.
It's so
Mo-
obvious. So
moms moms of daughters of all races do not want men beating up their daughters in a boxing ring. Can we see this? Can we see how this is endorsed? And moms might say, my little Sally's going to go in and play volleyball and get a concussion that ruins her life because a man bashed her in the face with a ball. And the Democrats say this is okay. It's unnatural. They're an unnatural group of people. They want to have unnatural things for us. And
Okay.
we're finally taking everything back.
Also, before we get to Mitch's question on locals, P.O. Box 3355, Denellen, Florida 34432. Send me some mail. Would love to hear from you. I get letters of encouragement, money to support the show, seeds to grow in the garden, stuffed animals for the kids. I got 2 painted wine glasses. Somebody hand painted me wine glasses with chickens on them. So all kinds of awesome stuff.